Usually when we do an introduction for a video, we tend to come up with something smart, but today I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna show you one feature because I think that's the one thing that will entice you to watch this entire video. Ready? There. So this is the GameSir T4 Mini. In essence, it is pretty similar with the Ghoulie Kit Elves Pro that we reviewed not too long ago. Actually, it is quite long ago. It's like last year. So they are both similar in terms of idea, but their execution is totally different. The GameSir T4 Mini feels a lot better to hold because it is thicker, and then you have this bulky part here at the back so that my palms can grip them properly. And then the shoulders and trigger buttons are also quite long to the point where even my long fingers can cover them up. But this controller is pretty mixed in my opinion. There are a lot of ups and downs, a lot of plus points and a lot of minus points. So let's go through them really quickly. And starting off with the joysticks. And I have to say that I love them a lot. They are very smooth and there is no apparent angle snapping, and the height of the joysticks is also just nice. The D-pad is also great as I can roll off some fighting game combos real easily. They are also pretty stiff, so maybe you'll like it? I don't know because I don't use the D-pad that much. And as for the face buttons, oh boy, I do need to tell you that they are pretty good to press, but I can't help to realize that the buttons are kinda squeaky. Sometimes it does give off a really sharp squeaky sound, which I find it to be really distracting. Maybe if I apply some lube, it would be better. And also, did I mention that the GameSir T4 Mini actually has RGB lights? I mean, I can hang this on a Christmas tree, and then I think a lot of people will think that this is just a Christmas ornament. We can also change the lights on the GameSir T4 Mini by pressing these buttons. There are a lot more lighting modes available, but we'll have to refer the user manual for that. And I also think that GameSir could have done a much better job by just printing all those button combinations for features back at the controller here. That would be a lot better than referring to the user manual, because they did a good job on the GameSir G4 Pro as they've just printed the user manual and all of the button combinations at the back of the controller. And while on that subject, the GameSir T4 Mini can also connect to a variety of different devices, for example, Nintendo Switch for sure, and then PC, iOS devices and also Android devices. It's just a shame that you need to remember all of these button combinations if you want to use it between multiple different platforms. We can also hold the T button with the D-pad up and down to adjust its vibration intensity, but this controller seems to forget the vibration intensity that I have set, because every time I turn off this controller and then the next time I turn it on again, it will reset back to its default medium level of intensity vibration. That personally for me is a bit too much, so I always use it at low intensity. And I'm not sure if GameSir will fix this bug or not, because I installed the GameSir World app and the app did recognize this controller, but there's no option to update its firmware. And we also need to talk about the T button on this controller here, because that is for turbo functionality. And they work pretty fine too. We can hold the T button and press whatever button we want that we want to turbo. So the first turbo mode is actually to hold the button so that it will repeat. And then the second turbo mode is that it will repeat on itself and it will only stop when we hold the button. Unfortunately though, I tried this on Metroid Dread and Samus cannot charge her shot. And for the battery life, I'm pretty surprised actually, because this small controller can get me about 12 hours of gameplay with a mix of turbo functionality on the Nintendo Switch and with all of these RGB lights that you're seeing right here turned on. However, once the Switch starts to complain that the battery is low, the GameSir T4 Mini will run completely flat within 5 minutes time. And there is also no battery indicator on this controller. So when it's complaining low on battery, it will just flash the LED at the bottom here. And for me, it looks like turbo functionality is turned on, so yeah, you gotta keep in mind what's going on. Charging the controller is easy enough because there's just a USB Type-C port at the top, and plugging it in will turn this controller into a Christmas tree. And so finally for the price. So the GameSir T4 Mini is priced at $35.99 US, and I would say the price is actually pretty decent. If you compare it with some other compact controllers like the GuliKit Elves Pro, the one that we have here, and also the SN30 from 8-Bit Do, they are much more expensive than this controller, and yet its features are pretty similar. However, the GameSir T4 Mini is thick, and with the thickness comes comfort. However, you do need to keep note that there are some bugs here and there with this controller here. So I do urge GameSir, if you're watching this video, to really put out a new firmware to fix all of those bugs. Then this controller is pristine. And I mean, this controller can do this. I can never get tired of that. And that's all we will have to share with you about the GameSir T4 Mini. If you have any questions, do leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.